What's up, guys? You know what time it is. Bitcoin has hit another all-time high. So we're doing another Bitcoin video. Today, in particular, I wanted to actually do some interesting case studies and really think about, what is digital currency and why is it so important. So we're going to be using Venezuela as our case study today of a country that is in desperate need of digital currency. So before we get into that, quick shout out to everyone who has been, hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel, guys. I really appreciate that. So, keep doing it. I'm going to keep making awesome videos for you guys, all right? So, Bitcoin, 4,310 and 25 today. A little bit down on the hour, but nothing to worry about. It's up 30% on the week, which for a coin that valuable is massive. So, let's have a quick little look here. That's giving me a slightly different number. That's okay. So obviously, the markets, we've seen higher prices as always in the market. So we're going to hit that there. People have been buying them for huge values. The top USD to BTC value currently is 4,547.23. That's a lot to pay for a Bitcoin, guys. The road to 5,000, seems like we're getting there really soon. So, stay tuned to this space. I think we'll see a $5,000 Bitcoin in the quite near future. Now, I wanted to actually have a look at the chart here for a minute. This is the 1-year chart of Bitcoin. So you can see about a year ago, we were right around the 550 to 600 range. Obviously now we've seen a quite substantial jump from that. So if you bought a $550 or $600 Bitcoin 1 year ago, you would have a $3,700 profit on your Bitcoin, which is crazy. So obviously Bitcoin is offering great returns. You look at the way this chart goes. We're just going up. Yeah, there are retractions. There's retractions to everything. Those are, basically buying signals for the people who are in the know. But if you look at this goes up and up and up and up and up and up and up. So I guess really what I want to talk about today is a question. Do you trust your government? Do you think that the people in charge of the banks of your country, do you think that the politicians are actually concerned with your well-being? Now, look, in New Zealand, I feel like largely, yes. There's obviously some things that take place that I really disagree with, and some economic decisions that the government takes that I really disagree with. But in general, I feel like we're one of the few democratic countries in the world where you actually have a say and you're actually listened to, and the politicians are actually accessible human beings. Unfortunately, we only share this great luck with a few countries like Norway and Sweden, for example, Finland. So many countries around the world have completely out of touch political classes that don't care about you, and they show you that every day, and especially in big countries like America, the UK, and on and on and on. So if we look at the actual value of some currencies, they're generally on a downward trend, due to massive inflation and things like this. The US dollar's had its moments, for example, but, suffers quite a bit. Now, again, I said we're going to be talking about Venezuela today, and that is exactly what we're going to be doing. So this is the Venezuelan Bolivar. You can see the 1 year, the 5-year rates. So it's a government-controlled exchange. You can tell that by these long straight lines. There is not really any market action. The government is controlling what the exchange rate is. So there you go. Currently, about 1 bolivar officially is trading. So you need 10 bolivars to buy 1 US dollar, according to the official government exchange rates. Now, that is a centrally controlled currency, like all major currencies. Many of them float, of course. The US dollar is a floating currency, and the Japanese yen and the euro, and these are all floating currencies. But this one was state-controlled, is state-controlled still. Now, this is a few days old, this article, not very old. So the black market rate for 1 US dollar is 8,700 bolivar. You can tell it's a little bit different from the official government figure, right? This is a country suffering from massive hyperinflation, the kind of inflation we haven't seen since, Zimbabwe or the Weimar Republic. And this is real, really tragic, obviously, for Venezuela, but it's also really interesting as a case study. Sorry, Venezuela, I love you guys, I really do, but it's really interesting as a case study for cryptocurrency because their own money is worth nothing. It's going to get to the point where you just wipe your butt with your bolivars and, that's it. You guys have all seen the pictures of people in Zimbabwe going to buy bread with a wheelbarrow full of, bundled up money. Venezuela is not too far away from such a situation. And so obviously people are turning to cryptocurrencies. And why wouldn't they? This is your currency at the official government rate, and that's still a massive downward trend. And obviously the reality is more just like straight down. Whereas look at Bitcoin. Bitcoin keeps going up. Yeah, there's some retractions, but those are, for the investor types, that's the opportunities to buy in and then, sell later at a higher point. Now, this was just a funny little anecdote I suppose we could add on the end here, is that Bitcoin is worth 50% of World of Warcraft gold. Your country is not doing very well when World of Warcraft money is worth more than your currency. That's not good news for them. Obviously, as mentioned, lots of Venezuelans are turning to digital assets to pay for things on a day-to-day basis. Okay, remember this one here. Now, that being said, obviously, the government wants to retain control of the money. They always want to retain control of the money. It's what governments do, right? And so they have actually been cracking down on Bitcoin mining. So they've been going around finding and arresting Bitcoin miners around Venezuela. I feel like we should start some kind of online petition, free the Bitcoin miners. Maybe we should, actually. That's a great idea. Maybe if anyone out there wants to jump on that, I'd support that. But it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. This is a country who cannot keep control of what's going on. The situation's totally out of control, and how do they respond? Let's go crack down and arrest Bitcoin miners instead of the corrupt politicians who have created your problem in the first place. So that is a typical response. I'm not surprised by the response of the Venezuelan government here, but it definitely, I think this only encourages people to keep buying, to keep getting into Bitcoin, to keep moving away from the government. Because it's one of those things, when people see, oh, the government doesn't like this, maybe I should like this. When distrust in the government is at an all-time high, when the TV media just tells nothing but lies. I saw this great piece recently, and they do something in Venezuela called Bus TV, and it's a group of student activists, and they jump on the bus and they tell people the news. Here's the news you're not hearing. Here's what you'll never hear on the radio. Here is what you'll never hear on the TV. And the people in the know, the people who can get online, the people who are accessing this information, they're finding out about this stuff. And I think it's really exciting, actually, in Venezuela, because their own currency is basically done for. This is a country that, if there was any political will, and that would obviously necessitate a change in government, and a change in government towards a party like, I don't know, the Pirate Party in Iceland, something like this. But to really adopt digital currency, to actually start using it as their day-to-day transaction. If we were to see a country actually adopt one of these digital currencies, or adopt a basket of these digital currencies as payment mediums, that would be absolutely revolutionary. Now, I don't think that's actually going to happen in Venezuela anytime in the near future. It will obviously continue to be a giant black market. But if there was the political will in Venezuela to do this, it would be just massively beneficial for Venezuelans. You might actually see a situation where people are, buying things for like 1 or 2 Satoshi in the markets. And, obviously there's a lot of, you can see the picture here. These are the slums of Venezuela. And I know you might think, oh, there's no money or anything there. But people there have mobile phones. People there have smartphones. 1 in 3 Venezuelans own a smartphone. And if you own a smartphone, you can access digital currency. Dash has become increasingly popular in Venezuela as well, and I'm not surprised, because Dash has much, much lower transaction fees than Bitcoin, not to mention, of course, that it's quicker than Bitcoin. So I understand why Dash is becoming popular, and I think we'll see other cryptos increasingly become popular in Venezuela as well. Now, back a little bit to this Bitcoin miner arrest thing that's going on. Bitcoin mining in Venezuela is massively profitable because the energy in Venezuela is heavily subsidized by the government, actually, which, anti-government rant here, I suppose. But, that's actually a big benefit to Venezuelans at the moment. So even though their government has kind of screwed them economically, at least they can benefit from that. Get out of here. At least they can benefit from that super low cost power, and just go crazy mining Bitcoin with that. But they've been arresting Bitcoin miners. They've been arresting people who are selling ASIC miners and things like this. So definitely there is a big anti-government or government response against Bitcoin. And so on the one hand, it worries me because I don't want anyone to go to jail for using Bitcoin. I don't want anyone to go to jail for using cryptocurrencies. But on the other hand, I find it actually very, uplifting in a sense because, these countries recognize it as such a threat, an existential threat to their power. I think this is the same reason why in the United States you're seeing a lot of control around cryptocurrencies. And hey, look, the U.S. is one of the biggest buying markets of cryptocurrencies. Obviously Japan and China are also gigantic, but if you look at the U.S., lots of people in the U.S. are getting involved, but the government doesn't really want them to because it's out of their control. And you know how the U.S. government loves to control stuff, so if we look at it from that perspective, digital currencies are actually going to let us be free to a large extent from these shackles of government. Now, look, hey, I know we still have to have taxes. We still got to, pay for roads and all this stuff, but maybe we can do it in a more democratic way. Anyway, I'm going to make a video in the future here on, the democratic governance ideas of, global democracy and all this stuff that blockchain can offer us in the coming weeks. We'll make one of those for sure. But anyway, it's really exciting what is happening in Venezuela from a crypto perspective. Obviously, from an economic standpoint, I absolutely feel for the Venezuelans. I think it's terrible what's going on, and they should dump their currency and dump their government and move on with their country. Now, if you say, Lark, a country getting rid of its own currency sounds ridiculous. Well, tell that to Ecuador and a few other countries as well, actually. Ecuador uses the US dollar. Now, would it be such a stretch of the imagination for Ecuador to simply use cryptocurrencies? Why not? Right? Why doesn't Ecuador simply adopt Dash, Bitcoin, right? They could easily be using one of these cryptocurrencies as their go-to currency. Why not? Why not? And Venezuela could do the same thing. And you'll start a movement of countries actually saying, why are we dealing with our own currency, which devalues massively every year, and why not just switch over to digital currencies? And just a quick note as well for all of you based in countries where we have strong currencies. Nothing is certain in life. The European Union is currently talking about, actually as a result of cryptocurrency and decentralization, they realize the threat to their power through cryptocurrencies and decentralization. And as a result of this, they're currently considering, I'm not sure I don't think they've passed this law yet, and anyone who knows any updates on that, you can certainly correct me in the comments section down below. But they have proposed a law that would stop you from being able to withdraw your money from the banks. Let that sink in for a second. You could have 100,000 euros in the bank, 10,000 euros in the bank, whatever. You can't get your money. Why? Because the government decided you're not allowed to have your money. Because it's not really your money. It's their money. You're just borrowing it. That's why cryptocurrencies are awesome. It's your money. And, anyone in the EU, anyone in the US, Australia, New Zealand, the UK, whatever, definitely, if you haven't got involved in cryptocurrencies yet, there's ample time to do that. Plenty of time still for the cryptocurrency market to get involved, to jump in, to start, getting yourself a little bit of it, even a little bit, is a good hedge against this kind of craziness happening. if you've got 10,000 euros in your bank account and your bank account's been frozen because the government's decided, well, that's what we're doing today. And if you've got, you have a couple $1,000s in Bitcoin sitting on the side, you're going to be okay, right? But if you've got 10,000 euros and no Bitcoin, you're just locked out of your money and you're kind of screwed, So, look, cryptocurrencies are the money of the future. Governments realize that. Governments are having a negative response to it on large. Not all governments. I told you guys a few days ago about Russia, and Russia's actually trying to get involved. Russia's adopting it. The EU seems to, in some ways anyway, be going the opposite way. I know Austria, for example, is adopting Bitcoin, and they love Bitcoin, and they're all about cryptocurrencies, but it's not the same experience across the Eurozone. And definitely laws like this are very suspicious. So anyway, if you guys are not involved in the crypto market yet, there's a lot of ways to get involved. You can start cloud mining. You just go to the exchanges and just, take some of your euros and buy some Bitcoin. Take some of your pounds and buy some Bitcoin. It's really, really easy to get involved, guys. Anyone who tells you it's not easy to get involved, they're just not doing the research. It does take a little bit of, looking into to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? How do I need to get involved? But just imagine a situation if you hadn't grown up around money, and all of a sudden you walk into a society and they say, hey, we have this thing called money. You would need somebody to explain it to you and figure, oh, well, how does this money stuff work? Yeah, you got these pieces of paper and you give it to another person, and what do I do with that paper? Isn't it just paper? Cryptocurrencies are the same thing. You do have to do a little bit of research to actually understand what is going on with cryptocurrencies and how they work and these things. And yes, they are not super user-friendly yet. That's my biggest criticism of cryptocurrencies, but we're definitely seeing a lot of projects which are bringing that user-friendly feel to cryptocurrencies, which I'm really excited about. And the more user-friendly it gets, the more mainstream it's going to go, and the more mainstream it goes, the higher the price of Bitcoin is going to go. And all other cryptocurrencies too, to be honest. Well, not all other cryptocurrencies, because some of them are going to fail in the long run. But, the major ones are definitely going to keep on keeping on. Now, if you guys do want to get involved, you can get involved in cloud mining. Cloud mining is a super easy way to get involved. You'll just slowly generate Bitcoin over time for $150 over on Genesis Mining. You can hop in and, grab yourself a terahash of mining power, which will get you about, probably by this time next year, you'd have about 0.07 Bitcoin, which is, doesn't sound like a lot, I know, when you think about it, but that's actually much cheaper than the market rate you can buy it at, maybe 0.06, but nevertheless, it's definitely get a lot more bang for your buck with cloud mining, but you have to wait. It's your funds are kind of locked up. You get little drips out. So if you do want to go over to Genesis Mining and do some upgrades, if you're already doing it with them, or if you want to get involved over there, I've got my 3% discount code down below. Guys, feel free to hit that up. If you do use my discount code, I please ask you leave your discount code down below. I'll hit you guys back when I do my next upgrades. Okay, so give and give back, guys. Absolutely. You can hop over to Hashflare as well. You can they're a little bit cheaper in price, but a bit higher in fees. There's no discount codes over here, but I do have my link down below for that. You can hit that up and help me out a bit as well. And of course, if you just want to go and buy some Bitcoin, you think, I don't know about this cloud mining stuff, that's fair. Just go buy yourself some Bitcoin, guys. I'm using CEX.io. It's available in a lot of countries. The reason I chose CEX is that it's available in New Zealand. It's an easy way for me in New Zealand to buy Bitcoin. Helps that I'm getting paid in rubles too. Different story. But if you're based in the US, Coinbase is your friend. I don't have any referrals or links or whatever for them, but you guys go find Coinbase. If you're based in the US, they'll definitely help you out. I think they're available in a lot of Western European countries as well. And a lot of different countries have different exchanges. For example, in Australia, I know there's exchanges where you can buy Bitcoin using your Australian dollars. So do look for your own local solutions as well. CEX is pretty global, so most people are able to access it. I've got the link for that down below as well if you want to hop on there and, go over there and buy yourself some Bitcoin. Do be aware that if you are a first-time buyer on any exchange, that it will take you a few days to get verified. This is a normal process. Don't get frustrated by it. It can take anywhere between 2 and 5 days to get verified, especially considering the massive increase of interest. All of these people's customer service departments are just overwhelmed. You might say, why don't they hire more people? Well, that's a great criticism, and I would agree, but they are not. So just be aware of that if you do go over there and sign up. Anyway, guys, that is all from the Crypto Lark today. I hope you have enjoyed this exploration of the situation in Venezuela and my thoughts about, digital currency as a replacement for regular currency. Anyway, if you have any comments on this, hit me up in the comment section down below. As always, guys, long live the blockchain, and peace out till next time.